The first week in the mission is definitely kind of I don't know, a little bit of culture shock, kind of a little bit of a wake up. I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. But I do remember it was a very slow week. Just time went by really slowly, just getting used to everything. Great experience, meeting my mission president. It's always exciting getting your trainer. So yeah, it was awesome, but it was definitely a big change. I don't know. I think some things just kind of you just adapt to them. Definitely with the help of God, and through a lot of prayer and scripture study, just kind of remembering your purpose there. I think it's just something you kind of have to have the desire to do. Have the desire to adapt to the mission and really have the desire to serve. And I think if you have that desire, with the Lord's help, you can get right into it. I don't know. I'd say by culture shock, I'll refer to a little bit of everything, I guess. Different foods for sure. Different language, of course. I think all of that all of that combined is just kind of a new experience. I'd never been outside the country before. This is my first time, so yeah. The church is definitely growing a lot in Mexico. There's definitely a lot of members there, lots of missionaries, involved in the work there. I think I would say that probably the biggest setback for the church there would just be retention. Keeping those people that get baptized and that join the church. Help them stay involved in the wards. I don't know. To help with retention, I guess we would try and involve ourselves in a lot of activities, whether it be family-owned evenings, just being able to visit with those less active members, and just help them realize they're loved. So I guess the process of learning the language, I feel it's just kind of a thing that happens with time. You just work hard at it, ask a lot of questions to understand, why things are said in a certain way, and just be willing to talk a lot, with your companion, with the people, and obviously you're going to make mistakes at first. Everyone does, but that's definitely part of the learning process. I think that's really what helps you learn. Maybe around 5 to 6 months, you start, being able to get the hang of it. And I don't know if I ever reached a point where I was like, no, now I'm fluent, but it was just kind of a growing process where you just kind of realize you got it down. Mm-hmm. And so I actually had 3 different presidents during my mission. The first president was Presidente Lopez. Then I had Presidente Salcedo, and then I had Presidente Greer. And they were all great presidents. They all, I think they're all led by the Lord. They made, different decisions in how they ran the mission. But I thought, each one did a great job in the way they did it. The Xalapa mission, so geographically it's in the state of Veracruz. So it's half of the state of Veracruz, the northern half. And it starts, I guess, around the city Xalapa, and then goes up to a city called Tuxpan, and just all the cities within there. It also includes part of the state of Puebla. So, geographically, that's the mission. So when I was in the mission, obviously the numbers fluctuated, but I think there was around 250 missionaries most of the time, depending on, the amount of people that left and came each transfer. So transfers in my mission, you'd usually get a call Sunday night or Monday morning. You would, get the news if you're staying or leaving. And if you're leaving, you'd usually have your P-Day to get ready, say goodbye to people and all that good stuff. And then Tuesday morning, you would take a bus to your next area. And so P-Days of my mission, you'd have time to do whatever you need to do, wash your clothes, go shopping for food, whatever other things you need to get done. And then we'd usually have some kind of activity. Sometimes the zone would get together. Definitely played a lot of soccer in Mexico. Maybe go get something to eat. That was probably a normal P-Day for us. So the living situation, I guess, in my mission, most missionaries would live in just an apartment, usually a room they would rent out. Really depends, I guess, on what area you're in the mission. Some areas are definitely nicer than others. If you're in the big city, you'll probably have a nicer place to live. If you're in, a smaller pueblo, it's going to be, a little bit of a smaller place, maybe, not quite as nice. So the living situation for the Mexican people, it definitely depends on their circumstances, I guess. Some people would be living in the city, could have a nice house maybe. I'd say the majority of them would live, especially those that lived in the pueblos, I guess, kind of like the smaller towns. That just depended as well. If they lived in like the center of the town, maybe they had an apartment or a house that they lived in. If they lived farther out on the outskirts, maybe more of a makeshift house, kind of, one they'd built themselves a lot of times. So the areas I served in were Xalapa, Poza Rica, Tihuatlan, Tlapacoyan, and Alto Tonga, and a few other smaller areas. Those were the main places I served in. Probably the two biggest cities I guess I served in were Xalapa and Poza Rica. And so Xalapa is the biggest city in the mission. That's why it's called the Xalapa Mission. But that's it's a pretty nice city. It's the capital of Veracruz, and church is pretty strong there. Quite a few wards there. I think they now have 2 stakes there. So yeah, it's a pretty big city. And the other city was Poza Rica, and that city is a little further north. It's a big oil-producing city. It's known for being very hot, definitely the hottest area, one of the hottest areas in the mission. And the church is also pretty strong there, 2 stakes, a lot of wards. So the weather in my mission, it got pretty hot, especially in the north. Usually it could get up, past 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know exactly. It's over the hundreds, obviously, in Fahrenheit. And then further south, it wasn't quite as hot. But in general, the mission was fairly hot, more so in the north. During the winter, it could still be hot. Weather was a little bit more, I guess it would fluctuate between, weeks where it was were quite cold, and then weeks where it was quite hot. There were like these cold fronts that would pass through, so kind of a mixture. And a lot of rain during the winter as well. So the food that I ate in my mission, first of all, great food. I love Mexican food. Mexico is obviously known for its tacos, so pretty much every corner has your taqueria. And when we went out to eat, most often we'd go for tacos al pastor. Those were, most people's favorite. And then what the members would give us, one big dish that the members would give us a lot was something called mole, and it's just it's chicken with a sauce and rice. And the sauce, there's a wide variety of sauces. It can be a spicy sauce, it can be a sweet sauce, but so that was a dish that was definitely served a lot. Another dish that I liked a lot was a soup called pozole, and it has like corn kernels in it, usually pork or chicken. Then you usually add like cabbage and cream and stuff in. That's a really good dish as well. Another dish I liked a lot was enchiladas, and those are, I don't know, most people know what they are, but the way they'd serve them in my mission was just a tortilla folded in half with the sauce on top, and then cheese or cream and stuff on top, and those are really good. So in general, just a lot of spicy food for sure. They eat chili with about everything, but yeah, great food. Mexican people, they're very friendly. They have a strong belief in God. Very, I'd say, service oriented. Everyone kind of helps each other out. They're great people. I love them. I'd say I love them right off the bat. They're just awesome people. So the Mexican people, very friendly people, have a strong belief in God. They really believe in helping each other out, which I love. It's one thing I love about them. And the culture there, big family-based culture. A lot of times they have, big parties where a large, group of family members will get together. So they just love cherishing, I guess, those friendships and family relations they have. I guess another big part of their culture is just food in general and eating. So I'd say a big, part of fitting into their culture is just learning to love the food and be willing to eat a lot of it because they serve you a lot there. And yeah, just express that gratitude for the food they prepared for you, and enjoy it because it is good food. So I'd say the one skill that I really picked up during my mission was just learning to love people and be interested in their lives. So I guess kind of have that attitude of charity, and just coming home from the mission, I guess it's helped me just love people for who they are. I think everyone's different. Everyone has different personalities, but it's important to love them and really try to understand them and be friends with them. So I guess, I don't know, in your mission, you definitely have a lot of different spiritual experiences. One in particular that I can recall was with a woman we were teaching in Xalapa, and she wasn't, she enjoyed us, she enjoyed visiting with us, but she wasn't, entirely sure about what we were teaching her, if it was true. We were also teaching her mom, and her mom was preparing for baptism. And she had gone to church a few times. She enjoyed it, but she just wasn't sure yet. So as we were teaching her, she started reading the Book of Mormon, had some good experiences in there, but again, just wasn't quite sure if it was really true. And then one day, she told us that at work she had been talking to one of her coworkers about us and the lessons that we had been teaching her, and she actually started sharing her testimony with that coworker, and it kind of freaked her out because she didn't realize she had a testimony, So just after that experience, I guess she realized she had a testimony. She realized that everything we had taught her really was true, and that was just kind of a powerful reminder to me, I guess, that each convert you teach, or I guess just each person you teach in general, really has a different experience. There's quite a wide range of experiences that people have to come to know the truth. But I think it's very specific for each person, and it's something that really helps them know for themselves that the things you're teaching are true. I'd say one pretty hard experience I had, I don't know, for me, I guess, was one of my areas. I was having a lot of success there. I had a great companion, and we had a lot of people that we were teaching. We were just having a great time there, and we got our transfers, and I thought I'd be staying there, but they ended up doing a transfer at the last minute, and I actually left the area and went to a new area, pretty close, about an hour away, but it was a much harder area. The missionaries there hadn't had very much success there in the past. And it was just hard, I guess, to leave that area that we were having so much success in behind and move on to this area that was, very, very hard just to find people to teach. So that was, experience I definitely learned a lot from. It was hard, but it's one of probably the greatest things that happened to me in my mission. It was one of the greatest things that happened in my mission, just because probably just the lessons I learned. I think God really puts us through those kind of struggles for a reason. I'd say that every hard experience you have on the mission really just is there to make you stronger, and I definitely got stronger from that experience. During the mission, lots of stuff happens. I think my testimony was definitely obviously strengthened throughout my mission, and I'd say it was just strengthened by I guess just some of the hardships you go through on the mission, whether it be with companions or weather or food or learning the language. Every missionary has their own struggles, I guess, but I think that's really what helps you gain that testimony, because you're far away from family and friends, don't have quite as much communication with them, so I think you have more of a I guess a bigger relationship with God, that helps you learn to trust in Him more than anyone else. So for those of you who just got your call, whether it be to Xalapa or some other mission, first of all, congratulations. You should be very excited for the mission. I'd say it's definitely a huge learning experience. Definitely a hard thing to do. But the lessons you learn there are lessons you'll keep with you for your entire life. So if you have you have that desire to serve, I think that's great, and go for it. I think, probably the best piece of advice I could offer you is just give it your all out there. Just remember that your mission's between you and God. And so just make the most of it. Enjoy those 2 years because they pass by super fast. And, I had an awesome experience on my mission. I really believe that the things I taught while out there are true. And I'm just thankful for to my Heavenly Father for giving me that chance to serve and to be involved in His work. And I will forever be grateful for that choice I made to serve. The phrase is cliche, best 2 years of your life, but it's true. Those were some of the greatest experiences I ever had during my life.